How to get takt time. This is a question that my business partner, Kevin, and I, because we're on a podcast together, get asked all the time. And I'm super excited to share this with you because calculating the takt time is a crucial component to doing construction well and production planning well. And we must understand it. And it's not the same as manufacturing. There is some translating to construction that needs to be done. And a huge shout out to Marco Binniger and Janusz Louis in Germany for teaching me, and for Dr. Iris Tomeline and people like Hal Makeomer here in the United States as well. I really have to give them a lot of credit. And then Kevin, my business partner, for really putting this all into a calculator and then expanding on the formulas from the work of those takt pioneers. So I'm going to go through something that I would consider a simple explanation and really help us to understand how to identify takt time on a construction project. So if you're into that, stay with us. Okay, so I'm super stoked. Anytime I can do a video with flip charts, that's my jam. So if you like this video, please like and then comment. We want to hear from you. I have been digging deeper and deeper and deeper into the comments, connecting with you. I can't tell you how much fun I have doing that effectively and get you to understand how I feel about it. But I'll just tell you it's a jam, and I want you to know, out of all the influencers where you're commenting on their posts, I respond personally. YouTube, the podcast, LinkedIn, and then any comments on our blogs or directly to me, I respond personally. So please jam out and give us a like, give us a comment if you like the free work, meaning free to you, that we're doing for you. That was kind of a guilt trip, I'm sorry. Let's talk about takt time. In other videos, I've explained that it symbolizes the rhythm or the beat on a construction project, and I'm about to explain that it's by phase. And it comes from an older German word that symbolizes baton. Or you could think of it like an orchestra conductor. Think of it like a metronome that keeps the beat. So it's really, really neat. The typical manufacturing definition of takt time is the available time that you have, and I already drew a little bit of a sketch here. Let's say that you had 20 days, right, to produce something, and then that's divided by the demand, and you have 4 things to make, right? So you would split this into the 4 things, and then that would equal your takt time. You basically have 5 days to produce each one. Now that's in a linear fashion, and that's without the complexity that we have on construction sites of multiple crews and multiple zones. So this is the simple manufacturing definition, where you have your available time divided by the demand. Let's say you need 4 products, well, you have 5 days to produce each product. Now in construction, I've already talked to you about the takt wagons, which is basically the amount of work you can get done in the takt time and the zone, plus takt zones, which is the amount of space you have on the construction site that's here, minus 1 multiplied by the takt time, which is the interval at which you're going to produce, equals your overall duration. So let me go ahead and symbolize that so I'm doing a good job. Let's say this is zone 1. Let's say this is zone 2. This is takt time 1, takt time 2, takt time 3, and takt time 4. Okay, I think we're doing a pretty good job here. Let's just, for ease of use, say this was 5 days. The formula goes takt wagons, so you have 1, 2, 3, okay, plus takt zones, you have 1, 2, so that's 5. Okay, minus 1, that goes from 5 down to 4, and so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So the formula essentially gives your overall duration, multiplied by the takt time, so that would be 4 times 5, and that would equal the 20 days. Now these examples are not to scale, I'm just giving you an example. This is how you do your takt time calculation in manufacturing for a single product. This is how you calculate the takt time for a construction project, and it's more complex. It uses a different formula. But let me just go ahead and take you to the application of this to make this super simple. So this formula right here is pretty neat. Let's just go ahead and say, what if I went ahead and added zones 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then let's put it down to 3 days. We're only doing, if you're splitting these down in half, we're only doing half the work, so that's 2.5 days. We'll round up to 3. Let's go ahead and do this. So we have 3 takt wagons, okay, plus 4, minus 1 multiplied by a takt time of 3, and let's go ahead and do the math. Okay, so 3 plus 4 is 7, minus 1 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18, right? So the original one that we did was 20, now it would go to 18. If you make the zone size smaller, I'm just making this up now, don't think I calculated this. It would go to 16, 14, 12. This number would go down and down and down and down, the smaller your batch sizes go. So here's my point. If you have a takt phase, and I told you we were going to come back to this, and it only had 2 zones with a longer takt time because you have larger zones, and then you say, hey, no, I want to go ahead and do 4 zones, then what would happen is the overall shape will incline and you will gain time. That's where you see the difference between 20 and 18. So I want that to be the backdrop for what I'm about to explain. When we talk about how do you get your takt time, construction projects are much more complex than that. You have your start and you have your finish. And what happens is, fortunately or unfortunately, you have your make ready, your foundations, and I'm just going to draw these time by location little parallelograms that look like this. You have your foundations, you have your superstructure, you will have your interior finishes, you'll have your exterior, and then you'll have commissioning. So it's not one takt time from here to here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different phases. And so what we have to do, or we get to do actually rather, is to do this math over here by phase. So I'll say 6 different times. And what happens is if you say, hey, this is my start, and then you make a plan and schedule out and say, this is our finish, that's fine. Or if you have a client that says, I need you to start and finish here for this construction project, that's fine as well. Because when you come in here and you figure out how long each phase is going to take, all you need to know again are the takt wagons, takt zones, the takt time, and then you can start to experiment with each of the phases. So let me go ahead and give you an example. Let's say that the mobilization is pretty consistent. Let's say the foundations, it's based on the placement breaks, can't do much about that. The superstructure, oh yeah, we can do a little bit about that. We can break those up into smaller zones so that can speed up. Actually, you know what? Let me change my marker color here. I'll actually draw that in a different color. You know what I'll do even better? I'll just highlight the center. Instead of it taking longer, it takes shorter because we're analyzing how that could actually piece together. And then we look at this other phase and we're like, yeah, instead of 8 zones, we could do 12 and speed it up. And then that same thing happens to this, and the same thing happens to the exterior, and then this whole production plan moves to the left. So let me go ahead and draw that in blue so it's making sense. I like this. And then we have the new target. So what you're doing here, and I hope this communicated it, instead of the slower option, which I originally drew, you're pulling all that back down. I actually can draw a blue line through this. Actually pulling this back in because you're able to use this formula to bring it over here to the left. So here's what I want you to envision. When you're looking at takt time, you have to analyze this formula for every phase, and it's going to narrow or extend based on how you zone it with your trades, the sequence you have, and the takt time that you're on. And we have wonderful ranges for this. So here's what I'm going to do. In the description below, I'm going to put this into a blog post, but I'm also going to link you to a book called Takt Planning and Takt Steering and Control. It will show you exactly how to do this. And what I want for you is to give you a calculator, which we will put in the description below, where you can take each of these phases and incline or extend. And one thing I want to note, you're like, Jason, that's snake oil. All you're doing is speeding up trades. When you actually incline this, you're not taking any time from the trades. And I know this video is a little bit long, but stay with me. I'll just give you this example that I love doing like on most videos, okay? So let's just say we have something like this where we have 2 zones, and I'll visually show you if you cut the zone size in half and went to 4 zones, literally it's going to end up looking like this. And what I'm going to do is show you what that looks like. And what you have here is you have the face starting to narrow forward, but I want you to note, oh, I'll do this with blue. No, I'll do this with red. I'm getting really crazy over here. This original trade time, the trade still has that trade time. It's equal from here to here, but the overall phase is coming forward. And so you can start to narrow your construction projects by using this formula without hurting trades. Please, please, please check out the information in the description below and contact us if you ever need help. We have 60 lean managers, lean engineers working with clients all across the world all the time to help their projects succeed. We can help. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.